I'm Rick Kaler. Thanks for joining me. Estate planning is something that I write about regularly and emphasize to clients. Why? Because it's critically important. It really matters that we establish how we want our tangible assets, like money and property, things we can see, collections, etc., distributed when we die. However, life legacy planning is something that has a much broader perspective, which includes our non-tangible assets. These assets might be the wisdom that we want to share, or values that we'd like to pass on, stories that we want to preserve, and maybe above all, the relationships that we want to nurture even after we're gone. Now, a way to pass these on intentionally is through what's termed a last love letter. And this term was borrowed from the late Dick Wagner and is used by Gayle Colman more recently, who's a financial planner, author of The Body of Money, and also a dear long-term friend. And she discussed this concept of last love letters in a recent conversation on my podcast, FinancialTherapy. It's not just about the money. The idea grew out of Gayle's own experiences with loss. When her father passed, his last words were some practical instructions. Though these were loving in their own way, she realized how much she longed for something more personal. An acknowledgement of who she was to him, what she meant to him, what made their relationship special. And as I thought about it, it's a longing that many of us have, even if we don't always know how to name it, in a way that it's even there. So as a result, Gayle decided to write last love letters to her children. Writing something so deeply personal is not easy. Gayle's first attempts helped her to realize that the process stirred up a lot of emotions and memories that she hadn't worked through. And the false starts to write that, in a way, weren't failures. They were part of the journey, part of doing the work to even be able to commit those thoughts to paper. They reminded her that writing true love letters requires a willingness to really dig deep and allow the words to come from one's authentic self. In IFS language, it would be from self-energy. So this is why she encourages people to think about writing these letters in community, in a safe, non-judgmental space, in a group. And then the group can provide support, accountability, even inspiration. Now, I resonate with this because this is something I did several years ago in a workshop with Susan Turnbull, who uses the term ethical will. And I can attest that the experience was a powerful and emotional process. I just looked at my last love letters a few days ago, written to my children. A love letter doesn't have to be lengthy or elaborate. A great oration committed to paper to have an impact. Gayle's found that when words finally came to her, they were often surprisingly simple. It might just be a few lines, but those lines can mean everything. You make me proud when you, or I'll always remember the way you, fill in the blanks. It's the kind of thing that lingers, offering comfort and clarity long after the writer is gone. Now for Gayle, this practice of writing last love letters is part of what she calls life legacy planning. It goes beyond the practicalities of wills and estate documents to the emotional and the relational legacies that we leave behind, something that we often don't think about. And these letters offer a way to soften the edges of loss and bring a sense of closure and connection to those that we love most. So her invitation is pretty simple. Just write the letter. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't need to cover everything. Just start with what feels true to you. Let the people you love know how much they mean to you. Gayle also suggests you might consider sharing these letters with your loved ones now, while you can actually see the impact of those words on them while you're alive. I know this is something that I did with mine, and instructed that at any account they should be given to my kids. I think it was when they were 16. Think about how powerful this could be if you were writing to your spouse or your closest friends, to hear what they mean to you. It might open the way for building even stronger connections during your lifetime. How often do you receive something heartfelt and meaningful as to what you mean to another person? Doesn't happen very often, does it? So these letters are meant to ensure you don't leave behind your most valuable legacy unshared. Because in the end, what matters most is not the assets or the accomplishments, but the love that we leave behind. Thanks for listening.